There's things that can happen in this life that can really hold you up. And one of the things that can complicate and fuck your life up to no end is when you make the mistake of allowing really stupid people into your life.
Yeah.
Because really stupid people, they're not thinking about themselves. They're not thinking about you. They're just thinking about filling holes, whether it's emotional holes or psychological holes. And they're not really even there for you.
I wish I'd learned that.
They're everywhere. They're like poisonous plants that look like the real thing. It's like if you like, there was a certain smell that celery gave off, and if you ate it, it just breaks your dick, gives you diarrhea, gives you headaches for 6 months.
Right.
You would avoid that like the plague.
Right.
Well, but that is the case with relationships. It's the case with friendships. It's the case with relationships. And when I was young, I felt like I was fighting upriver. I felt like those motherfuckers, these weak dummies that will get in your life and make up stories, lie, or be mean to you, or shit on you, or say things about you behind your back, they're your enemy.
Who
So
taught
just
you that?
Go through it.
Because I should have learned that, and I never did.
Nobody.
Yeah.
I just figured that out. Well, it wasn't entirely right because I
should've
created a
listened to you,
lot of
'cause you used to
enemies
tell me
that
that.
didn't need to be my enemies.
Right,
there was a much more level-headed way of looking at it.
Right.
But that took, for me at least, it took some. I had to develop that understanding on my own. I had to develop the understanding of like when to do it, and when to not, when to be kind to people, and when to try to genuinely let someone know that you can't listen to this anymore. You know, like, listen, I'm sure you're a nice guy, but here, this is my take on this, and this is why I don't like discussing these things. Whereas if I was 23, I would have been like, dude, please shut the fuck up. You're killing my brain, you fucking dummy. You didn't thought this shit through.
Saw him do that a couple times.
Well, people will fucking beat you down.
Yeah.
They will beat you down with stupidity. They will climb inside your head and just say a bunch of stupid shit at you. And if you like venture into that world, you're going to be hanging around with problems to solve where you get nowhere. Your life is not going to be like figuring out your life. Your life is going to be dealing with whatever emotional bullshit these morons in your life have dragged into it. And instead of like supporting each other and helping each other and evolving together, you're in this constant weird stream of conflict with the person that you're friends with. Yeah, I think he's mad at me, man. I don't know what the fuck I did, but you know, he's got a bug up his ass lately. Like, you know those type of people?
Yeah.
And they start conflicts, and then, hey, Bobby thinks you're mad at him. I mean, I don't know what you want to do. Like that. What is all that? Where's that coming from? Those are you let that shit into your life, you got problems.
Yeah, and people date that too. They
Exactly.
into relationships where they're having text wars for 3 hours.
It's really simple. Don't be a cunt. Don't be a cunt. And we can hang
Cunt-free
out.
zone.
Yeah, don't be a cunt, and we can all be nice to each other. But as soon as you allow cuntiness, and this motherfucker he had a whole cunt farm. He had a whole cunt produce section.
Farm.
And he had all these cunts that he was growing in his life, all over the place. The point where he'd be constantly late for things because he would always have like 15 different obligations that some asshole that he was hanging out with. Dude, I really need you there for me, brother. I really need you there for me. This is my thing, you know. This is my first time in acting class where I'm standing up and I'm doing and you would go to these idiots' things. You would go to all those things. And then you would come to me afterwards, you're like, you got to clean your life out, son. You got to clean your life out. You hanging around with way too many crazy assholes.
So exhausting. That was the best compliment you ever gave me. You said, you never needed anything. I think that's why you hung out with me a lot, right? Because I just didn't need anything from you.
Oh, you're like one of my most least needy friends I've ever met. Nothing. You need nothing. When I first met you, you didn't even have a fucking doorknob.
I know.
He didn't have a doorknob. He was living in Venice in a fucking apartment. I go upstairs. This is his place. I push the door open. I'm looking down. There's no knob. It's a hole. You could look down on your knees and look right into his apartment.
My father said that to me. My father saw the car I was driving. He goes, hey, I can afford to buy you a nicer car. You want me to do? I'll do it right now. I was like, no, I'm all right.
What I recognized when I met you was this guy who is like almost like you're trying to save people from the thing that you would be that you would least like to find yourself in that sort of a position.
Yes, I think that's good.
You were looking at them as if they were you, and you didn't feel entirely secure growing up, and you felt like, as a good person that you are, you would just try to help these guys out. Yeah. He's a good guy. He's got a crazy idea about Jews.
They'd be a project for me. Yeah, exactly. A crazy idea about Jews. He's a Nazi, but otherwise.
But the beautiful thing about you, dude, is, first of all, we never argued about these things. Like when you had a crazy person in your life, you were more than willing to listen.
Yeah.
You like, we disagreed about a few of them, but you never got like shitty about it.
No.
And I think you're a really logical thinker. You always have been. And so, like, you looking back on all your behavior is so fascinating because you're looking on it like a science project. Like, oh, this is why I was doing this here, and this is why I was a silly goose right there.
Right.
And
Right. The amount of time I wasted just buying 2 parrots and having 2 dogs and moving a complete lunatic into my house. You know, I would like, let's see, everything's going well. Let me see how I can complicate the shit out of this. Maybe I can buy a chimp while I'm at it. You know, it just, you do a lot of, it's a lot of it's just self-sabotage in a way. You know?
it is, but